Hello everyone, welcome to this question series Python 0 to Hero question series by Data Sense. So in this particular series we will be solving 200 Python question right from the basic data structure algorithm questions to advanced question on algorithms. And so far we have not started the EDA part where we deal with Python libraries. So all these questions we will be solving based on Python logic, because remember, in Python interviews you will not be tested on libraries, because libraries are something that you can always Google around. They test you on logic, and the Python DSA questions are something which actually test your logic. So we in this course we have covered a lot of topics till now, and I think it is the right time that we start, because we have covered two algorithms so far: two pointer algorithm and the linear search algorithm. Beyond that we have also covered data structures as well. So I think we are in a good shape to start at least 50% of the problems, and we will meanwhile we will continue with the topics as we move forward. So this is how it will go, that every day you will be shared I'll share 10 questions with you, and it is your duty to solve those questions, and I'll try to provide video solutions to as many questions as possible, especially if they are difficult ones. So I ensure that if you solve these 200 questions, just I can give you a guarantee that you will not fumble in interviews, to be honest, provided you solve these questions on your own first without looking at the solution. So don't just watch this video as a kind of movie that you are sitting and enjoying me watching coding. First you should have coded the question before watching this video. If you have not, then I don't think that's the right approach, and you cannot expect good results out of them. Okay, so without wasting much time, I'll begin this particular video. So we have the question number 1, where we have something on movie tickets. The question says that you are managing a movie theater's ticket booking system. A list of booked seat numbers is given. Okay, you are given a list of booked seat numbers, and you need to find if a particular seat is booked. Okay, so we have a list. So what do we have? We have a list of uh, seat numbers. Okay, let's say from here to here, and we are given we have to check if a particular seat, for example s is equal to, let's say, 30 or 20, it is booked or not. Okay, that is the question here. Write a Python function to perform. Okay, we have to write a Python function to perform a search on the list of booked seats. The function should return the index of the. Okay, now remember, we have to return the index. We don't only have to check if it is present, we also have to return the index, otherwise it should return -1. Okay, so let's build around the concept around it. Let's take the example 10, 25, 1. So we have the example of 10, 25, 30, 42 and 55, and I want to check if the seat number 30 is present in this or not. So if the seat number is 30 is present, then return me the index of the seat number, otherwise return -1. This is what I have to build. This is I have to basically create a function which will do this objective for me. Okay, so let's try to understand how we will go about it. I mean, so what technically we have to do, we have to search if this 30 is present in this not. If 30 is present, we can safely return the index of it. If it is not present, we will return the -1. So this is a classic case of linear research. I think in n time complexity we can easily solve it. So what we will do, we'll start from the left, or you can also start from the right. It's totally up to your choice. So what we'll do, we'll start from here. Okay, I'll go to the first element and I will make a test if it is yes or no. Okay, now if it is yes, I'll return its index. Okay, if it is no, I will move ahead. I'll check with this one again. Here I will do that testing, yes or no. Okay, and then I will again move, and I will again move, I'll keep on moving till I find something. Okay, and if by the end of it I have not found, if my index is I haven't found any index, I will return as -1. So it's pretty simple algorithm, and because we have to return index, we will not be using for a in L. We will be using for basically for a in range. We'll be using range, because we have to return the index value. So this is very important. You need to understand when do you use the element and when do you use the index. That is the main question, because here we need to return the index. So let's start solving the problem. So let's create this function. So how will we go about this is uh, def booking status. Let's do booking status. Okay, now in function you have to pass parameters. So what do I need to pass? I need to pass a list which it has asked me, so seats, and I have to pass a seat number. I have to check if that seat number is existing or not. Okay, so this is my function that I have created. Now what do I need to do? For I in range length of seats, okay. If so, what I'm doing, I'm iterating over from, I'm going to this, then this, then this, then this, then this. Okay, I'm doing this. Now I've done this iteration. Now what will be my condition? If seats of index matches my seat underscore number, okay, if it matches, what I have to do? I have to return I. And if it does not match, so what it will keep on doing. So it will so it went to first. If it matches, it will return it. Now it will move to next, move to next, move to next, move to next, right? So it will perform all the operation. Now the second part is, if it does not match, I have to return -1. So where do I place that return -1? Shall I write down just here? For example, there can be two. You can ask, shall I place it here, or shall I place it here? Here. Else, or simple, we can just write on return -1 because it is not a part of this loop. So the point is, what do we want my function to perform? I want it to scan completely first without returning -1. Okay, if it is not able to find anything till endpoint, then only return 1. So I want it to iterate through every element. So that is why I will not do something like return here. I'll place my return here. With this, what will happen, that even it will keep on verifying till end. If it does not find anything, then only it will return -1. Okay, now let me just run this function. Let me check if this is working. So what I'll do, booking underscore status, and I have to pass the booking underscore seats, and what is my seat number. So for example, seat number. Okay, so just let me check what is the error. Booking seats is not defined. Okay, sorry, it's booked seats, not booking seats. So it's booked seats. Okay, so it is returning 2, which is my index number. So that's how you will solve it. Now if I change to booked seats 2, here if you see, here output should be -1, and it is returning -1. So this is what the code is about. So it's a pretty simple linear search algorithm question. We have already discussed similar type of problems, so you should be able to do it. But the main question you should ask yourself, for example, let's say if I do something like this, else return -1. Okay, what will happen? Will it give me else? So else if I do something like this, it will throw error when the points are matching. So let's see, when it is 30, it is still showing -1. Okay, although in booked seats we have 30 matching, but it is still showing -1, because what is happening, that it is for example, it is matching, it matches its first number. So it comes to 10, right? What happens, it comes to 10 and it matches. It does not match, so it comes to else and it prints -1. So it does not move ahead, right? And so that is what is happening here. So that's why you do not have to keep your else statement here. You have to keep your return always. So this is the main problem statement is this only. Where do you place your return? This you need to understand. You cannot place return below it, and if you do this, you will get the result. So that's about the question number 1. Now we will start solving question number 2. The question number 2 says, in a school, grades of students in a class are recorded in a list. Okay, the grades are like so there's a list of tuples, right? There's a list and there is multiple tuples inside it. Write a Python function that takes the list of the student names and their respective and return a dictionary where the keys are the student names and values are their grades. Okay, so they're asking that I want to convert this into a dictionary. So basically So what do I have? I have a list, right? And this list is a tuple. So for example, let's say there is name A and there is marks, for example, 10. There is name B and there is marks 20. And there is name C, there is marks 30. So what do they want me to do? They want me to convert it into a dictionary. And in dictionary, it should look like what? So A 10, comma B 20, comma C 30. That is how they want me to basically store this like this. So it's now there can be multiple approaches to this particular question, but how will I do is that I'll go from the basic brute force method, the most simple thing that you will come to mind. You don't know any coding, you don't know anything. How will you do is that first of all you will let me change the pen. Yeah, so first of all you will create a blank dictionary. Okay, you create blank dictionary. Okay, and what you do that, you again simple, it is also a linear search type of question. I mean, you're basically stepping linearly. You're not searching anything, but you're going linearly. So what you do, you go to the first element tuple, okay, and you take its first element, you store as key, and the second element you store as value in this dictionary. Okay, and you just update the dictionary. That is the whole intuition behind it. And then after this you will go to this, and then after this you will go to this. Okay, so when you do this, it will become like this. You do this, it will become like this. You do this, become like this. So but how do we do that? So okay, we are sure we can create this blank dictionary. Okay, problem will come, how do we address that? How do we convert this particular thing into dictionary? So if you remember, when we iterate, for example, when we iterate, let's say I have to iterate from there. Now here I don't need to return any index, so I'll simply do for a in L, right? I will just simply do like this, and so my a will become a tuple here. My a will become a tuple. Okay, now my tuple has two values inside it. This is 1, this is 2. I don't want to talk, don't want to talk directly to tuple. I want to talk to elements inside a tuple, right? So what I will do, if you remember tuple unpacking, how do we do that? If a tuple has a b, so how can we address them? We can address them, for example, a comma b, something like this. Let me just refresh it. So for example, let's say tuple has a value of name. Let's say name is Ramesh and his age is 30. So if you want some element to enter, what we will do, a comma b is equal to this, and if we print, a becomes equal to Ramesh and b becomes equal to 30. That is how you address. So what you will do, for instead of saying a in L, what you will do, you will replace a with basically a was suppose your tuple, let's say here. So instead of saying tuple in L, you will replace this by for a comma b in L. So what will happen, that here where you had name and the range, where you had name and you had age, name and age, name and age, something like this. So every time you will be talking directly to this, and you can then store it in the dictionary. Okay, so what I have to do, every time I go there, I have to store it in my blank dictionary. So what I will do, for a comma b in L, I will do simply dictionary. Because I remember how to add an element in a dictionary. You need to use the dictionary name, you need to add its key, which is a here, and you just provide it the value, that is b, and it will fix it. Okay, so I will so how to do this? Remember, just again, let's say this is dictionary word. I will have to pass the key, which is a here, and I'll just do b. And if I do just a loop like this, so when it comes to this, it will place n as a key, it will take b as a value. When it comes here, it will take this as key, it will take a as value, and so on. So let's start coding this particular question. So for example, what do I need to do? I need to do a def. Okay, I need to return a list to dictionary. Okay, so what will I get? I will get student let's say just name it as grades. Okay, just naming it grades. So what is my first step? So first I will do for tube in for in grades. Okay, this will be my first step if I recall this now through this tube I'll be iterating through tuple 1, tuple 2, tuple 3. Now I don't want tube directly, I want to talk to elements inside a tuple. So what I will do, I will replace it with name comma age in grades. Okay, before this the first step was to define a blank dictionary. So what I will do, let's say grades, I will do grade equal to a blank dictionary. I'll assign a blank dictionary here. So what I'm doing now for name grade in grades, what I have to do, let's say I went to this. So what I have to do, I have to update this grade dictionary. So what I will do, grade of name. Okay, this has to be equal to what? This has to be equal to age of this particular. So grade of name is equal to age, and it will keep on looping. So once it goes to this, when it goes to this, it will keep on adding this. Now I have to return what is my, I have to return grade, because once my function is over, I have to eventually return the grade loop. Now let me check the, now if I do list to dict, and if I call my, if I provide this particular list inside it, let's see if it runs or not. See if it has converted. Okay, so it has converted it into a dictionary where we have first name as this, second name value as the marks. So this is how you will do. Remember this architecture, how you do, how you code basically. First of all, you will do tube, because by default you will be thinking, why did I do name and age? So you don't need to remember this. First of all, you do tube, then you talk to yourself whether I need to talk to tuple directly or I need to go further inside it, right? In this question, we need to go inside the tuple because we need to access the elements, and then we will add everything into this dictionary. That's how the elements are added. So this is the question number 2. So we will start the question number 3 now. Question number 3 says, in a business case study, you are given a sorted list of daily profits like this. Okay, we have profit 100, 200. It is a sorted list. You need to find if there are 2 consecutive days where the total profit matches a target value. Okay, so they want to check, they have a target value. Okay, and then they want to check if 2 consecutive days matches them. For example, let's say 100, 200, 300, it is not there. 200, 300, it is 500, this is not there. 3, 400, it is there. So if it is true, we have to return a true. Otherwise, we have to return maybe a false or nothing, something like that. So we'll return a false if it does not exist. So how do we go building around this particular approach? So let's see that we have a profit which is equal to 100, 200, 300, 400 and 500. Okay. Now the point is that, do we use a linear search or a 2-pointer approach? The question is, it wants to compare consecutive. So it doesn't want to compare this to this. It wants to compare the consecutive days like this, right? So remember, there is always, when you have two things, you do a two-pointer approach, right? So in the first question, the approach that I told you, where we move from here to here. Okay. Here what we might need, we have to compare to add 2 values, right? So we might need 2 pointers here, like one pointer moving from here to here, other pointer also moving from here to here. So both pointer moving in the same direction. This might be a question like that, or there can be 2 approaches to that. So I'll explain both of them to you. So what you will do is, let's say you create, let's go back to 2-pointer algorithm first of all. So what you will do, you create your I and j. Okay, so let's say this is your I here. I starts from here. Okay, now we want to compare with the next value. So do we need do we need the, again, the 2-pointer algorithm will become little bit complex, so let's not go there. Let's solve it using a basic linear approach, a basic linear or maybe 2-level loops only. So what I will do is that I will define an I here. Okay, I. So what I'll do, I'll compare I with value at I plus 1. Okay. So similarly, when my I moves from here to here, okay, so let me recreate this diagram. So let's say this is my list. Okay, this is 100, this is 200, this is 300, 400 and 500. So we have something like this. Okay, now what happens that I, first of all, my I start from here. Let's say my I starts from here. So what I will do, I'll take a sum of I plus sum of I plus 1, the value at I plus 1. Okay, so if I'm starting at this point, I'm taking this sum and the sum at I plus 1. Is it matching? If it is match, if it here it is 300, so it is false. Then I will move from here to, then I will increase from here to here. Now here again I will do 200 plus 300, so I plus 1, so it will become 500. So it's now move from here to here, it will become 300 plus 400, that is 700. It will give you, that is true. And then it will move from here, okay, this will 900, this is no. So if it finds any one of this, then it overall returns a true value. So that's what we need to do. Okay, so let's try to basically code this particular question directly. So what are we doing? Let's say we do def profit check. Okay, let's do profit check. And what are we providing? We are providing it let's say profits, and we are providing it a target. This is my function name, and this is my variable that I'll be passing. Now, so the thing comes, for I in range. Now this particular question comes now. What will be my range? My I is, if you focus at the question again, I is varying starting from here. I starting from 0, right? So 0, it will take, when it is 0, it is comparing 0 and 1. When it moves here, it comparing 1 and 2. When it's here, it's comparing 2 and 3. When it reaches here, for example, 1, 2, 3, 4. When I is equal to 4, when I is equal to 4, 1, 0, 1, 2, 3. Sorry, when I is equal to 3, it is comparing 3 versus 4, correct? It is adding 3 and 4 basically. So do I want I to go till 4? Because if I becomes 4, I plus 1 will become 5. And the question will give me error because my I plus 1 overall I cannot be 5, correct? Because my range cannot be greater than 5, because overall it's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So if I do, for example, in, let's say my list name is list, right? And if I slice it using I plus 1, okay, if I's value is 4, right, like this, then this will become list of 5. And list of 5 is not possible because 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, maximum value it can take is 4. So it cannot take 5. So I will range basically from 0 to 1 to 3 to 3 only, not up to 4. So technically I is varying from 0 to length of n minus 1. That is the whole concept. That I is not now it, so range of length of profit, it has to be after minus 1. So I'll do length of profit minus 1. It cannot be whole length. This is the key thing here. Otherwise my question will throw an error. Now it becomes simple. If profit I plus profit I plus 1 is equal to target, if it meets target, then I need to return true. Okay, otherwise I will do return, if it does not meet anything, I have to return false. Okay, this is the main concept here, that how will you vary your this particular thing here, and you have to match with I plus I plus 1, I plus I plus 1, I plus 1, right? So here we just using a linear search only, we actually finished it, because if we would have taken two variables, it would have made this particular like I and j, it would have made this I will say more than n complexity. We can do that, that is not a problem, but I prefer using single in linear time only. So for I in this, and we are just printing this result, and let's see if it works around. So what I will do, I will do profit underscore check, and then I will pass the value that is profits, profits. Okay, let's see. Profit sorry, I need to provide a target as well. Okay, so the target is as well, so it's returning me true. Now for example, let's say I change the value of profit. Let's say I make the target sum as 7,000. Okay, now it will not match, so it should return a false here. So it is returning me a false. So this is a basic question. It's a simple question. It's a linear. We have solved it in linear time complexity because we are just using one for loop. Okay, so that's how you should do. Or you can take two variables as well, but it will increase. So let's do it simple like this only. So yeah, so that's what the question number 3. So welcome to question number 4 now. Here we have a question. In a business case study, you are given a dictionary where keys are product names, okay, product A, B, C, and values are list of monthly revenues. So we have like so list where we have monthly revenues, let's say January, February, March, something like that. Write a Python function to create a new dictionary with the product names as, okay, you want to create a new dictionary where product name remains same and total revenue as sales. Okay, you just want to sum them. Basically you want to create a new dictionary where we have product A 3 to 5 600, right? Product B 750, product C 900. We have to create, basically this is the sum of this particular thing. So okay, so sounds a very interesting problem actually. So let's go here. So let's say we have a dictionary here. Okay, now if we see, so we have product A. Okay, corresponding to A we have a list. Okay, 100, 200, 300, something like that. Similarly, corresponding to B we have a list, let's say something like this, and corresponding to C also we have a list. So this is the whole dictionary. This how it is structured. Now we want, basically we want to sum this up, right? How do we sum this up? So it's a clear-cut question that where we again need to, so if you see, this is a simple a for loop example where we have to loop in around. We have to basically just like we do in linear search, right? We need to enter each of the question once again, and then just give me a second. So yeah, so what we do, what we will do here in this particular question is, first of all I'll create an iterator. Okay, and I will move from, first of all, so this is my first element, right? This is my first element. So I'll move to this. I will keep the product. So I'll create, first of all, my step will be to create a new dictionary, create a blank dictionary always. So this is my architecture. I'll create a blank dictionary. Okay, right now this has nothing. Second, I will iterate over each element. I will iterate over each element. So this is item number 1, this is item number 2, this is item number 3. Now for each item, what I will do, I'll keep key same. Key I will keep same. Okay, I'll create a new sum, that is the sum of values, okay, and then I will basically move this 3 into the dictionary that I have created, and some also I have created, I'll place in that. So this will be my architecture. First of all, create a blank dictionary, then iterate over each element, pick each element. In each element, first of all, move the key from here to this dictionary, and then second step is sum this particular thing, and then store that value in this dictionary. So how this coding will look like, for example, let's say we write down for A. Now here we don't, because this is a dictionary, here index does not matter. So for element in DICT, okay. Remember, we have to access both the items of this. So what we will do, we'll use ditc.items, not ditc. We have to use something like this, because we have to get access to element as key as well and value as well. That is the first point in any dictionary. If you want to access both items together, you want to use items. If you just want to use keys, you will use dict.keys. If you want to use items, you'll dict.items. Okay, now after this, whatever code I write, remember when you write a for loop for this, like, so there will be instances, like for whatever code you write, it will be repeated for each of the element, for element 1, for element 2, for element 3. Okay, so what I'll be doing that, first of all, I need to create a sum. Sum is equal to, which will be the sum of all the values, sum of all the values which are present in this particular, right? So sum of values which is present here, okay. And then I will, in my dictionary, that blank dictionary that I've created, what I will do, dictionary dot a, just like we did, is equal to this sum. We will update with this sum, and it will move forward. So this code will be repeated for this block as well, this block as well, this block as well, and eventually you will get the sum. So this is the whole architecture. If I speak about, first of all, we create a blank dictionary, then we iterate over each element. Iterating in each element, you have to execute this code and this code, and once you execute this code, you have to again move to the next one, and that's how things will progress. So let's create this particular function here. So the function will be def. We have to create revenue. Okay. So what is my so let's talk about sales. This is my parameter is sales. Okay, I'll provide a list of basically I'll provide a dictionary of sales. Okay, so this is how things are working. Now first, what is my first step? I need to create a blank dictionary. So I'll replace, let's say, final sales, okay, is equal to, I'll keep it a blank dictionary right now. Now what I will do, that for, now if we see that we are iterating through items, so for, let's say, first of all, we do for element in my sales is basically this dictionary, right? So sales dot items. Okay, now item will have two things. If you remember, item will have two things. It will have a name, it will have a name, it will have a key, it will have a value. So what are we doing? We are changing it to because we want to access the, just like the tuple question that we did, we want to access the elements inside it. So what we will be doing is, instead of writing just the element, we will name it as name slash values. Okay, name slash values, or you can say revenues, name comma revenue in sale dot item. What are we doing is that, okay, we have entered. Now for each of the, for this particular, what I have to do, I have to create a new variable, that is sum, that is revenue underscore sum, which is equal to sum of what? Sum of revenue. Okay, sum of revenue. It is the sum of revenue, because revenue is this particular list. If you see, name is this key and revenue is this particular list, and I want to get the sum of this. After this, what I will do, in this final underscore sale, this dictionary, I will update my name. For example, what is my name to, its value will be rev underscore sum. Okay, so after this, I do, this is my function, and eventually I have to return final underscore sale. This I have to return. Now if I have to run this, let me check if this functions properly. Revenue, and I'll provide this list products. PRODUCTS. Okay. So I'm getting a product A 600, product B 750, product C 900. So this is the question. It's a very simple code, but you need to understand. I mean, if you don't understand the architecture behind it, you will not understand how to code it. So the first step is to create the blank dictionary. Second, iterate over each. Once you iterate, so for example, when you write this code, whatever code you're writing after this, it will be executed for each of the element. It will be executed for this as well. It will be executed for this as well. It will be executed for this as well. So what are we doing? We are taking revenue sum, creating a new variable, which is sum of all the values. Okay. Because rev is the second part in this particular list. And then we are updating my final sale because it was blank. So what I'm doing, key I have to keep same. So I'm just keeping the key same here because it was name here. I'm keeping name here, and rev sim I'm basically replacing it with the sum, and that's how when I am returning. So this is the question number 3. I hope this is clear to you guys now. Hello everyone, welcome to this question number 5 now. So the question number 5 says that in a treasure hunt game, players must find hidden items scattered across a list of location. Okay, so we have like list of locations, multiple tree, rock, cave, rock, something like that. Write a Python function to find the first and the last occurrence of a particular item in a list. Okay, the first and the last occurrence. Okay, if the item is not found, then print basically -1 to -1. Okay, so what are we going to do here is it's a pretty simple thing. For example, we know this is a kind of linear search only. For example, let's say if I have to look for rock in this, what will I do? In my general case, I will do let's say for A in locations 1. So let's say if I'm not writing the function right now, locations 1, if A is equal to item, or we can say for I in range of length of location 1. Okay, if locations 1 I is equal to item, okay, print I. So I'll get the location like print 135, something like that I will get. And I just want to print the first and the last one. So this is what I need to do. So what I can do, I can basically take store it in a list. So for what I can do, let's say I can do a blank list. For example, list is equal to this. And for location in this item, I do something like list dot append, okay, and I, if every time I find something, I'll append to it. So now if I print list, I'll get 135. And what do I need to eventually print? Let's say list, so list of 0, I need to print the first element, and I need to print the last element of this list -1. Okay, and this is how we will do. And so I'll get 1.5, whatever it is asking. Okay, and if that is the case, I will just have to provide the value, otherwise -1 to 1. So how to build this function? Let's start building this function from scratch. So let's do one thing. Let's do something like def left item match. Okay, what I'm passing a location. So I'm passing a location, and I'm passing an item. I need to find its number of matches. Okay, so first of all, what I'm doing, I'm storing an index. So I'm storing a list, which is basically you can say list, just name it list right now. Okay, so for I in range length of location, if location I is equal to item. So what I do list dot append I, right? I do this. Now once this is done, I have what I eventually need to do is, if okay, so I get this, and then I do final underscore list is it will be equal to what I need to do. So it will be list 0. So I need the first element, and I need the last element, and it should be list -1. Okay, so this is how what I will get. Now after this, I need to check. See, I need to pass a condition that if this final list is present, if there is some value, then present return the final list. So for example, if final underscore list is true, basically if it has some value, okay, then return final underscore list. Otherwise, I have to return else return we have to return this -1 to -1. And now let me check this function on my item match. Let's say I pass locations 1. Let's see what it shows. So I am getting, okay, I need to provide a match value as well, that is item. It needs 2 parameters. So it is given me 1 5, right? So that is what is required. And if I provide locations 2, for example, in which things are not present there, so it is saying 3 3. So rock 0 1, okay, rock is present, so 3 is first and last is also. So now we come to the question number 6, that is chess, right? It's a good question that you're developing a chess game that you need to create a list of all possible coordinates on an 8x8 chessboard and write a pi. So basically we have a chessboard and we need to print all the coordinates. So how a chessboard looks like is it has 8,8 grid, right? So it is, let's say chessboard looks like this, okay, and it will have multiple. So suppose 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 and 8, right? Something like this will be there. Similarly vertically also it will be like this: 1 2 3 4, and sorry for my poor diagram again, 5 6 7 and 8. So what it will look like, it will have index ranging from 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, right? And similarly vertically as well, 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. So let us say what is the index of this is 0 0, this is 0 1. Okay, so if we see that for every, let's say for every x coordinate, the x coordinate is, for example here, 0. When it is 0, the y coordinate is varying from 0 to 7, correct? Similarly when it is 1, it is varying from 0 to 7. So there are like 8 values, then it is 2, then it is varying from 0 to 7. Like this we are printing the coordinates of this. So if you see, this is a kind of two level, basically you can say it a nested list comprehension, because what is happening, first of all you are iterating over. So let's say you have 0. So let me explain you through this, the tree structure that I explained earlier. It is like this. So in the tree, for example, in your tree start, right, you have 8 values. So your initial tree has 8 values. Okay, so it has 0, then it has 1, it has 2, it has 3, then it has 4 5 6 and 7. Okay, and each of them is further split into 8 values: 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, because each of them is further split into 8 values. So what will we do, that this is level 1 and this is my level 2. What if you remember the list comprehension videos, this is level 1 and this is level 2. So how will I write this particular code? It's pretty simple actually. Now when I go in, let's say let me write down def chess coordinates, chess coordinates. Okay, I so this is the value. I'm not passing any input into this variable, right? Because whenever I call this function, it will automatically print me all the coordinates, right? So what I am doing, whenever I call this function, it will straight away return something. What is it going to return? So let's discuss that. So first of all, it has to be list comprehension. Okay. Now first of all, when I am at level 1, so it has to return 8 values. So what it will do, a for a in range 0 to 8, right? For example, let's say I'm talking about x coordinate, range 8. So range will vary from 0 to 7, and it will print 0 1 2 3 4 7. It will print a list like that. Okay, now for each a we have a further segmentation, correct? So for each a I have for so it is like for b in, so we can also say that for b in each of them is also present in it has also 1 comma 8. So you can say 8. So and what eventually are you printing here? You are printing a comma b. So for a comma b, for a in this and for b in range 1 to 8. So now let me call this function, that is chess underscore coordinates. And if I just do, right, if I do like this, I'll get all the coordinates. And if I just do a print as well, for example, let's say print, so I'll get I think all the values in a list. So that is how you will get all the coordinates. So the major thing was that for a in range this and for b in range this, right, both are varying in this range and you are printing a comma b. So that's how this solution is. So welcome to question number 7. This is certainly the best question of this assignment in my opinion, along with 8, but I still consider 7 to be, I mean, the most, I mean, it will help you gauge the approach little bit. I mean 7th and 8th are closest, I will say, but still let's walk through the 7th question. The question says that given an integer array nums of length n and an integer target, find 3 integers in num such that the num is closest to the target. Okay, so what is happening here? The question say, let's try to understand the what first of all what we need to do. Okay, for example, let us say we have this particular array, nums is equal to -1 2 1 minus. So for example, let's say we have this nums is equal to -1 2 1 minus 4. Okay, 2 minus 2 1 2, and then 1 and -4. Okay, so then it is +1 and it is -4. Okay, and what do we need to find? We are given a target, that is 1. So we are given a target is equal to 1. So we need to find 3 numbers in this, that find 3 integers in the num such that the sum is closest to the target. Okay, now I have to find 3 integers I, j and k from this particular array, that the sum is closest to target. Now how do I find? So this is a 4, right? These are 4 numbers, so there will be 4 such possible. If you do 4p3, there will be 4 such combination of 3 possible. So what we will do, we will have first of all -1 plus, so we'll have -1 plus 2 plus 1. This sum is, so let's say this is the sum, 1 is equal to so 2. Okay, now let's talk about sum 2, which is equal to, now I take 2 1 and -4. So 2 plus 1 minus 4, this will become -3 to 3, sorry, -1. And now let's take about sum 3. The third pattern will be -1 plus 1 and -4. So -1 plus 1 and -4. So this will be minus 4. Okay, and the remaining number, the S4 will be minus 1, 2 and minus 4. So minus 1 plus 2 and minus 4. So it becomes 1 minus 4 minus 3. Okay, so I have 4 sums here and I have a target. So what I have to do, if I place the number on a number line, for example, let's say, so this is my 0. Okay, this is my target 1 where I have to be there. This is my target point. Okay, I can say this is my target. Now where are these sums lying in? This particular first is 2, so it is here. So what is the distance between these two? It is 1. Okay, and minus 1 is lying here. Minus 1 is lying here, and what is the distance between these two? It is 2. And S3 is minus 4. Minus 1, minus 2, minus 3. So it is lying here minus 4. And if I take this distance, okay, it is so 5. And last is minus 3. Minus 3, this distance is 4. So if we see out of all this, which number is which sum is closest to this, it is 2. So this particular sum is closest to it, and it means this particular sum wins, and we should return minus 1, 2 and 1. This should be the output of this particular array. And now similarly, when size increases, things will vary. So there are 3 numbers. We have to check their sum. So what do we have to do? First of all, we have to find all the so all pairs of 3 numbers. Okay. Then we compare sum. Then we compare sum, and then we return the sum which is closest, or the numbers which are closest. So there are 2 methods to do it. One is the brute force method. It involves a time complexity of O(n) cube, right? So I'll talk about that. And then there is another approach that is the better approach than this, that is 2-pointer technique approach. And in 2-pointer we can solve it in O(n) square. You might be wondering, if there are 3 variables, how can I solve it in O(n) square time complexity, right? So we will talk about that in this particular video. But I hope the concept is clear, that what we want to achieve from the question. So I will move forward to the brute force method first of all. Okay, so what we will be doing in brute force method is that our first step is to get all triplets, right? Get all triplets inside this. Second will be to take sum, right? Take sum of all the triplets. Third will be take difference from the target. Take difference from target. Okay, and once you take difference from the target, you sort, you have to get the minimum target. So basically sort them, and you can get the first value, and corresponding to that you can return the 3 values. So you can do this, you can do something like this. So how will we be doing this is, we need 3 variables, right? So we have, let's say, let me create this particular array that we have. So let's say we have this array. The question is minus 1, 2, 1, minus 4. Okay, so it is minus 1, it is 2, it is 1, and it is minus 4. Okay, so what are we going to do in this case? We are going to define 3 variables, I, j, k. Okay, now because we have to find triplet, so a triplet cannot be minus 1, minus 1, minus 1, right? All have to be different. So where will I vary? I will range from 0 to n. So if I speak about n minus 1, okay, it will vary from this. Now j will vary from, because this is taken by I, so now j will start from here. So j will vary from I plus 1, or you can say it can start from 1 to, it will go till n minus 1, and k will vary from 2, and it will go till n minus 1. So that is how these particular things will vary. So let's dive into the code. First of all, how are we going to solve it using the brute force method? So let us start with the coding part of this question. Now in the coding, what we have to do is let's get back. Let's take the index that we are having, the question number 7th. Yeah, so let's take this example, right? So we'll first solve using the brute force method as we talked. Now we have nums and target equal to this. Okay, just one correction I will like to make here is that, let me just restart the screen, is that, for example, let us say this is my I'm just talking about the four values. So -1 is my first value. Okay, 2, -2, 1 and -4. Okay, 2, 1 and -4. The I, J, K. So I, J, K, how are they going to vary here? So there was just some correction I would like to make from what I said. I will vary from, I can take any value, 0, 1, 2, 3. So I will vary from 0 to 3. Or you can say, you can say range of length of nums. We can say that, length of nums, we can say that. How will J vary? Now see, the point is that we cannot have the combination repeating. For example, let us say if I is equal to 0 and J is equal to 1. Let's say this is the case. Okay, we cannot have again that J is equal to 0 and I is equal to 1. Or similarly, let's say I is equal to 0, J is equal to 3. And if J is equal to 0 and I equal to 3, we don't want such combination, right? Because we want only one combination. These are duplicate combination. So what we will be doing will vary from J from I plus 1. So this way what will happen, J will always be ahead of I. So you will never see repetitive value and it will go till length of nums. Okay, similarly K. Now K has to be ahead of I and has to be ahead of J to avoid the repetition. So what we'll do it J plus 1, because J is already ahead of I, and if you make it ahead of J, so K automatically becomes ahead of J and automatically becomes ahead of I. So J will start from here, K will start from here, I will start from here, I will start from here and J will start from here. So that is, so I will start from here, J will start from here and K will start from here. And that's how it will go to avoid the duplicates. So I will basically take up values -1, 2, 1, -4. And J will take values 2, 1, -4. And K will take values 2 and 3. Through this, we are ensuring whenever we take any combination, we will not see any duplicate. Okay, so now let's come back to the question, is that what are we going to do? That for I in range length of nums, for J in range, now J should be varying from I plus 1 to length of nums. Okay, and for K in range, J plus 1 to length of nums. So this is what my variance should be. So you should know where I will vary, where J will vary, where K will vary. Now for each iteration, because there are 4 combinations, we'll create a temporary sum where we will store individual value. Temporary sum will be equal to nums of I plus nums of J plus nums of K. Okay, now what we have to do, let's say we have to get a list of those sums. So we'll create a blank list, and what we will do, we'll append every time sum dot append temp underscore sum. Okay, so now if I just check the value of sum, print sum, I have got the value. I have got the value like this. Okay, so this, or we can also do something like this, temporary, right? So we have first of all got the sum of each value. Now what we have to do, we have to get the difference. From target, right? So what are we going to do? We have to create a new list, right? So we will create difference. Okay, so difference will become equal to, so what we do, that for A in sum. Okay, and technically what we have to do, we have to get absolute value of a minus target what was provided. Okay, and if I do this and let's me print difference, in some, okay, so this is not matching, right? So I got 1452. No, but I don't need I want the closest sum. Okay, so absolute is not required. So what I'll be doing, target minus a. So one something that is closest to target I will do. So it will be target minus a, right? So this is what I have got. Now I want something which has so this is the sum. Then I take the difference from the target, and which sum is okay. Yeah, I will have to do the absolute. I'm sorry, I will have to do the absolute here, and okay. So minus 1, 2, minus 1. So just let me cross check this one. So what I'm doing here is I have minus 1, 2, 1. So I have minus 1, I have 2, I have 2, I have 1 and minus 4. So I have 1 and minus 4. So what are the four sums? Sum 1 is equal to 2. Sum 2 should be equal to 3 minus 4 minus 1. Sum 3 should be equal to 1 minus 3, and sum 4 should be equal to 0 minus 4. Okay, these are my four sum, 2 minus 1, 3, and so first let me check what all my sums are there. So if I just do a print sum, okay, 2 minus 3 minus 4 minus 1, 2 minus 3. Okay, this I have. Now I have to take the difference from the target. So this is my target, and I have to take the absolute sum. Okay, so what I'll be doing is let me have it. So absolute underscore sum will be equal to for a in sum. So what I'm doing is absolute value of a minus target, right? I am doing this for a in sum, and if I just do print abs underscore sum, so 1452, right? So 1452, and what is my smallest difference? That is 1 is my smallest difference. So what I will do now, I will do abs underscore sum dot sort, and I don't need to reverse it. Now if I do print abs underscore sum and I do a 0, I will get the least value of sum, which is there, that is the 1, right? And for this particular question, the value of the sum that is closest is 2, right? And its difference from the target is 1. So that is what we have achieved, and through this method you can solve this particular part. But this is a brute force method, and it requires because it involves time complexity of O and Q. So we will be trying a different method as well. That is we'll be using a two pointer approach for this particular question. So what I'm going to do is now explain you the two pointer algorithm logic. So let us try to understand this question using the two pointer approach. So let us say let me check any other example if it is there. Okay, no problem. Minus 2, 1, minus 4. Okay, so we have this example, minus 2, so minus 1, 2, minus, okay, so it is, let's say it is minus 1, it is 2, it is 1, and it is minus 4. Okay, so far now we have been using 3 I, j, k, right? We have been using 3 variables I, j, k, and it makes the time complexity n cube. Now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to define one variable I. Okay, so I, let's say I'm varying I from 0 to some other, let's say I'm varying from n minus 1 or n whatever. Now for example, let's say when I is equal to 0, when I is equal to 0, this is my initial I. If I see that if I've selected I equal to 0, I have this a new array formed here. This is a new array that is formed. Okay, and to this I will apply two pointer technique. Well, this is the starting point and this is the end point. Okay, and I will, so I have -1 stored in one of my variables I, and I have to find a sum between start and end such that the difference is closest to target, which is equal to 1, right? The sum should be closest to target. So what is happening that in this scenario, my I is equal to 0. So my first number I is equal to 0. And remember, the two pointer technique is always, it is always linear. So it is O(n). So one variable will be here and one variable will be here, because we are traversing n here and we are traversing n here. So total becomes n square. So we are solving it in n square time complexity. Okay. So what is happening is, because I will vary from 1 to n, from 0 to n, and this particular variables will traverse through n minus 1. So it will be n square complexity. Now let us say when I is equal to 0, so I have this array fixed here. So 2, 1, -4. Now if I apply my two pointer technique, that this is now my starting point, this is my end point. Initially what we do I plus, we take I plus s plus e. So what is my sum? Initially my value is -1. So first if I see, I have -1 plus 2 plus 2 -4. Okay, so this becomes 2 minus 1, 1 minus 4. That is, this sum becomes -3. Okay, now what do? Every time I get a sum, I have to compare it with my difference from target. Now my target is 1 here. Okay, my target is 1 here. I have to get as close to 1 as possible. Okay, so so technically my sum is less than target, very less. So I'll have to see a way, can I increase my sum so that I get closer to 1. So what will I be doing? I have to increase my sum, and when I have to increase my sum, I will move my start point towards my left point towards right. So what will be my second thing? Now my starting point will become this. So it will become -1 plus 1 -4. So what is this particular thing? 1 minus 1, 0, and this sum becomes -4. So technically this means that moving here did not solve the algorithm. So what I have to do, I have to move backwards. So if I do move backwards, it is -1 plus 2 -4. So what is the sum here? 2 minus 1 is 1, 1 minus 4 is sorry, 1, not -4, it has to 1. So -1, 0, the sum becomes 2. Okay, now this sum has gotten closer to target, and because differences, if I track difference here, my difference is 4, my difference is 5, and here my difference is 1. Okay, so this situation has improved it. Now what I will do, now my I will change from 0 to 1. I'll move from I here to here. Now if my I becomes equal to 1, that is, the value becomes 2. So what option do I have? I have for I plus s plus e. What all option do I have? I will have 2 plus. Now I have only this array left. So I don't have any option to traverse anywhere else. So it will become +1 -4. So 3 minus 4, this becomes -1. And what is the difference of this from this? The difference is 2. Okay, and if I see, I have been storing my sum. This is my minimum difference, and hence these numbers will be selected. So technically what I have done through my array, let us say this, I have an array of 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, for example, right? So these are the numbers. So first I will select I equal to this, and this will become, I'll apply two pointer algorithm to this. And in two pointer algorithm, I have to ensure my sum is closest to target. And how will I do that? Every time I take a sum, and I will take an absolute difference between target and my sum, and that has to be minimum, and that has to be minimum, so that I will traverse. So this is the logic that I'm going to apply in this particular question. So let's start coding this particular around. The first of all, the any property of I will say any two pointer algorithm, the thing is that we have to sort the array first. So let us say I have this array that nums dot nums is equal to this, what is the number, -1 2 1 -4. Okay, so it is -1 2 -2 1 and -4. Okay, now let me create this function def and 3 sum. We can say it like okay, 3 sum technique. Okay, so what are we going to do here? Def this, and what are my parameters? So I have to pass a value of nums to this. Okay, and this is nums, and then this is target that we are given, right? So I'll be given a nums and I'll be given a target which is equal to 1 here. Now let's try to understand. So my first step will always be to sort things. So I'll do nums dot sort. Okay, now remember, what did I talk about? I have to compare if my sum, the sum that I'm getting, or the difference that I'm getting, it has to be less than what is already present, right? So what I'll be doing, I'll be taking a sum let's say I'll do a closest sum, and I will make it a very big value. For example, let's say something like this, as per this question. So this is what I have done. So I've initialized the closest sum which is available right now to this target. So if I see any sum that is less than this, I will update my closest sum to that particular variable. So now let's start. What I'm doing is that I have to start with I, right? So I'll be doing for I in range. Now what is the range of I? Because I have already two pointer technique, right? So I'm moving from I equal to here and here. I cannot go here. So I will be moving from range of length of nums, right? So length of nums -2. It will always be -2 because to leave the 2 pointers aside. So this is my so let me comment down here. So what I'm doing here, initialize. So let's do, this is step 2. We are initializing a sum, a max sum, right? So we will iterate and update this, right? We will iterate and update this, and here we are just step 1. Here we are just sorting my first array, sorting first array. So this is my first step. Okay, I've sorted, and now I am starting to enter this. Now remember, so I have got I. Now what I need to do, I need to assign a left pointer and a right pointer. So left will be equal to always I plus 1, and what will be the right pointer? Right pointer will be equal to length of nums minus 1, right? So it will be it will remain same. So length of nums minus 1. This will be my right pointer. So remember, what is the criteria for two pointer? While left is less than right. We solve this question till that particular point. Now what I'm doing, I'm taking a current sum. What is my current underscore sum? I'll take that. So that will be equal to nums of I plus nums of left plus nums of left plus nums of right. Okay, I'll take this. Current sum is equal to this. So we have something like this. We have taken a current sum. Now comes the main logic. If this current sum is closer to target, okay, if this current sum is, we have to update the closest sum. That is, if this particular sum what I'm creating, okay, it is closer to target, then I have to change this closest sum to that particular value. So what I'm doing here, if absolute value of current underscore sum minus target, for example, this target is less, because if I get a sum closer than absolute value of closest, so it will be closest sum minus target. If this is the case, what I'm going to do, if every time if I iterate through something, if I get something which is less than this value, I will update this. I will make closest sum equal to current sum, right? That is the first thing that we are going to do. Now I'm done with my all particular things. Now I have to start basically my two pointer thing, where I will be so here what I'm going to do is that, just a second. So now my first criteria will come that if my sum is less than targets. For example, if my current sum is less than target, right? So what I have to do, remember, when my current sum is less than target, I have to increase my sum. So to increase, I will move my left pointer towards right. So what I'm going to do, left plus equal to 1. Okay, that is the case. elif, what I'm going to do, current sum is greater than target. For, let's say, if it's greater than target, what I'm going to do, I'm going to move my right pointer towards left, right minus equal to 1. Okay, this is my second condition. I'm also typing the code very, because I know this is a very complex problem, so I'm also thinking if I'm doing everything right. So that's why I'm going a little slow. So this happens. Now if it is not the case, that is, for example, let's say I meet this, because their equality will automatically be taken care of. Now if that is the case, I just have to get my, because if this is not, means it will match the number. So what I will do, I'll return my current sum, my current underscore sum. This I will return. If it comes to be equal to something like that, I will do that. And overall, what I have to return, overall I have to return my closest sum. Yes, so overall I have to return my closest, so closest sum. So I have to return my closest sum. That is what I need to do. And 3 sum is generating closest sum. Okay, that should be, this should be the answer. Just let's find it out. I mean, okay, so now let's do one thing. Call this function and pass the value of nums. So if I pass the value of nums, so remember our answer was sum should be 2. Okay, and I have to provide a target value as well. So target value I have to provide, and yeah, so I'm getting the sum 2. So this is generating me the result that I want. So there were 2 methods. One was using brute force method, one was using this method. I know it will take time to sink in. This, you might be asking, why did you take this? The problem is that we have to initialize. Remember, when we take sum, we sometimes make things 0, and then we see if anything is greater than 0, we update it. So in Python, in most of the question, you will find this technique where either you take a very large value, assume a very large value, or you assume a very small value, that is 0 or 1, and you keep on incrementing things. So this is the logic that we have built. I know it is a little bit complex, but if you don't understand it, at least first understand the brute force method and then try to understand this. We'll be solving more questions like this. Even I get to be honest, even while coding, even I was a little cautious that if I'm writing it down correctly or not. So you don't need to worry about that. Just understand the logic. We'll be practicing more questions and you will further improve this particular skill. So that's about the question number 7. Now I'll move to the question number 8. So welcome to this question, everyone. Question number 8. This is a very, very important question. Actually, this can be solved using multiple methods. And if you just try to check a solution online for this particular question, you will get very complex codes and you might not be able to understand. So I have broken this solution in a very systematic and logical manner because see, for data analytics interviews, they are not going to test your I will say how advanced DSA do you know. They just want to check your basic knowledge, your basic coding principle, basic logical thinking. So we will not be using any library, any particular thing for that. We will just build on small concepts, and the architecture I'll build in front of you, and you'll see if you think logically, even if it's a very big code, you can crack it. Okay. So the question says that you have a list. So what does the question ask, right? So let's move here. The question has asked us that, let's say there is a list. Okay, there's a list of values, let's say 2, -1, 1, 3, 6, 8, 5, for example. Okay, now this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7, it has 7 elements, right? So if you just do it, it will have 7 P2 combinations, and it means, right, so 7 into 6 by 2. Okay, so it will have total 21 combination of numbers. So a pair, what is a pair means, for example, a comma b. Pair means a comma b. So 2 comma -1 is a pair. -1 2 is the same pair only, or you can say -1 comma 2. This is one pair. Okay, and then you have 1 comma 3. Then you similarly you can have like 21 combinations will be possible inside this. So you have to find out what in these 21 combinations, you have to find out the kth smallest pair distance. What is the, so there will be differences, right? A difference between A and B. So A and B will have difference, and this difference will you can create a list of this difference, and you have to find the kth smallest value. Okay, so that is the objective of this particular question, that if you are given any random k value, for example, let's say k is equal to 3, k equal to 6, k equal to 5, or k equal to 1, whatever value you given, your code should be able to automatically detect in this that what is the kth smallest possible difference. Okay, so we will go about building the algorithm, the solution for this, and I'll try to build through a very, very logical thinking. So no additional thing is required. So what do we do here? Let us say we have a list is equal to 2, 8, let's say 7, -3, let's say again 6, 4, and so on. For example, let's say I have a list like this. Now the first, so what is my question? That kth smallest difference of pairs. Okay, of pairs, what all things are present in this? First is they want pairs. Okay, second, they want differences between the value of pairs. Okay, and then they want the kth smallest difference. Okay, so that's how we will go about building the solution for this particular question. Is that my first step will be, how do I generate all the possible pairs from this list? Okay, this will be my first step. Second step, once I have generated, let's say I have generated a list of pairs like this. For example, I have list 1, I have list 2, I have list 3, I have list 4. Let's say I've created all the possible 21 whatever pairs are there for this. Now for each so my first part is done. In second part, what I'll do, I'll take a difference of these two elements. Let's say AB, and I will store here. So let's say there's a difference A, there's a difference B, there's a difference C, and so on. Okay. And then the third part is I have to get the kth smallest. So what I will do, first of all, I will sort this value from increasing to descending, and from there here I will take the kth value. Okay. So that is my algorithm. That is my thought of process, which what I am going to do. That first of all, generate all the possible pairs, then take the difference, then sort them, and after that move from here, get the kth value. Okay, because let's say you have a sorted list 1 2 3 4 5. If someone asks me, tell me the fourth smallest value, so what in this, what is this? 1 2 3 4, and fourth small, so this is the fourth smallest value. And you can right, so how do you get the fourth smallest value? You will do, let's say L 0 1 2 3 3. So let's say if you want fourth smallest value, that is k equal to 4. So what you will do, L of k minus 1. So that is the whole concept here. That this is the everything that you need to know in the question. Now I will go towards solving the question, okay, through the coding. So let's no, let not me cancel this. Okay, so first of all, let's talk about generating the pair. So how will we generate? So let's say I create a notebook. Okay, we can take any example from here. I'm taking a bigger example for your own convenience. Let's say L is equal to, because eventually our purpose is to solve the question, right? So let's say L is equal to 2 3 4. So we can say that let's make the let's say 2 3, then 5, then 8, then 14, then let's say we can say 19, we can say 27 and something. Let's say this is my list initially. I have to find the, and value of k is, for example, let's say right now it's k equal to 3. Okay, so this is something which is given to us in the question. Let me just zoom in a little bit. Okay, so this is something given in the question. My step 1 is to generate all the possible pairs. Generate all possible pairs. Okay, first of all, I have to generate all the possible pairs. So what I will do, let's say I'll create a blank list. In this, so remember the list that I was talking about, this particular. So first I will create this bigger list, because initially I have not entered anything in this. So I'll make it a empty list. Now in this empty list, I will start entering the values of various lists. So what I will be doing that I will have now. Let's start to think, how do we generate the all possible pairs? Okay, so what we have to do here in this particular question, now see, we need a two pointer for the two pointer in this sense that, for example, let's say I have this array 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. Okay, 4 5 6 7. I want to generate so I want to generate a pair. So one pair will be I, one other will be j. Now this I will vary from 0 to n, or you can say technically n minus 1. Okay, I can vary from here to here, because first it will take 0, second it will take something and so on. Now my j will vary on. Where will my j vary? J will vary from, my j cannot be equal to I. This you need to remember, because A and B cannot be same. They have to be different. Okay, and because we want distinct, because I don't want that A and B is equal to B and A, right? So if I generate a case where I comma j and j comma I means same, then it will not serve me the purpose. So what will I do? That I will start from here. So my I will start from 0. Okay, and my j will vary from I plus 1. This is what you need to understand. J cannot go beyond I. For example, let's say I is here. So j has to start from here if you have to take the distinct numbers. Because if you start j from behind, let's say there j becomes 0 and I becomes equal to 4. So it will generate a duplicate like this. And we don't want duplicate. So that is the biggest point. So we want our I to vary like this. So what will we do in this particular question? That for I in range length of, let's say, L. And for J, remember this is you need to really understand the concept, and because we'll be using this extensively, this concept, how to generate, like in a lot of questions we'll be generating all the possible pairs initially only. So you need to know where does I vary from, where does J vary from. So for J in length, now J will vary from what, range, okay, and it will vary from I plus 1. It cannot start from I, so it has to be I plus 1 to length of num. Endpoint can remain same, okay. So that is how it will vary. Now so what you will do, you'll append it in pairs dot append pairs dot append, and you will be doing nums. So what in append we can only give one value, right? So what will be appending a list inside this. So we will be doing nums of I. So nums of I will do in let's say length of L. This is L, is not nums. So L of I, okay, and comma L of J. This is what we will be generating. And let's just test this out. Print pairs. So I have generated all the possible pairs which are possible from this. Now my step 2. Now my step 2 will come, where I will calculate the difference between, for each tuple, you can say, or each list inside this, we will generate all the differences, right? So what will my step 2? Step 2 will be get the difference. Okay, so what I will be doing, how to get the difference. So first of all, I have to create a new list. Okay, so now pairs gives me the tuple. You can either say tuple of list, or list of tuples, or you can say list of lists, whatever. So let's say I want to create another list which is of differences, and initially let me mark it as 0. Okay, now what will happen, for A comma B in where are we checking? In pairs, right? In pairs. So ideally what we do, let's say we do for tuple in what is this, for tuple in pairs. Okay, and remember tuple unpacking, we can unpack tuple by A comma B. So we can say A comma B. So for A comma B in pairs, that's how we will do. Okay, and now what I'm going to do, differences dot append. I am going to just append a value of absolute. I have to get the absolute value of A minus B. Okay, and so append. I'll be appending this, and now let's check out the print. Let's print differences. Okay, so I've got the differences 1, 3, 6. So I've got all the possible differences. So this was my second step out to get the differences. Now comes the third part. Step 3 is to, if you remember, is to sort the array. Step 3 will be to sort and slice. So what sort and slice. So what I am doing, I will just do differences, which is my this list, right? This is this list. I will just sort it, differences dot sort, and we want in ascending order. Okay, so we don't put refers equal to true. So that's how we will do. So now this has been sorted, and after this, what I need to do, what is my final let's say I have to this is my final answer. For example, so it should be equal to differences. Now I need to slice this. Remember I talked about k minus 1, because now this thing will be sorted. Okay, now I want to print the, let's say I want to print the third lowest value from the left. So what let me show you first of all the differences. Print differences. If I just print the differences, let's see what it comes. So it is coming 1, 2, 3, 3, something like this. It is coming, right? And I want to see the third, let's say k, for example, third highest different or third lowest, whatever it is. So I'll 0, 1, 2. So first 2, 3. Now the third value in this list is the second, you can say index equal to 2. So what we will do, we will do final is equal to differences slash k minus 1. Okay, and now we do print of final, and this will give me the 3. Okay, so this will give me 3, which is the third lowest value, third smallest differences, which is the question, which question asked me find the kth smallest pair. For example, let us say change the value here. Let's say we have 131. So what I will do, I'll just change the value here and just show you the output. So k equal to 1. Let's say I want to get the lowest possible difference in this. Okay, so now I have to update this one. So this is the 0, because 1 comma 1 means 0. So that will be the answer. So here output was 0. Similarly, we can test on other cases as well. For example, we can test on 161 and it wants me the k equal to 3. So I'll just do 161 and k equal to 3. Okay, and when I run this, I get 5, and 5 was my output that was expected. So this was the explanation question number 5, question number 8. So that is how remember to build the architecture. The first step was always break your code in steps, right? So that's why I say visualization of the code is very, very important. If you cannot visualize the code, I mean, how will you know, I mean, what are we doing here? Okay, so step 1 is this step, generate the possible pairs, get the difference, and then sort and slice. Okay, so this was the question number 8. So just let me explain you this particular concept once again, right? In my notebook, what I just did there. Okay, so I know you might get confused initially that okay, why you have created multiple subarray and what are doing append. You're doing first append, what is the second append? So let me tell you what I'm doing. I have to create a universal list. Okay, I have to create a universal list of sets. Set 1, sorry, list 1, list 2, subarray 2, subarray 3, and so on. Okay, so what I'll be so this particular step is called subarrays. This is subarrays, the one with S. Okay, so what I'm doing here, that I'm looping. Now to generate these particular subarray, these are individual subarray. These are without S. Remember, these are without S. Okay, so what I'm doing, first of all, I have to generate this small element. Okay, and every time I complete a loop, I basically append it there. So how do I append? For every subarray that is there, it has a different start point, it has a different end point, correct? It has a different endpoint, and that is what I'm doing in this particular code. That okay, I know that my start point will vary from here, I know my end point will vary from this here and here, right? Now what I'll create an individual subarray. This subarray is a, you can say, a blueprint of any of this, for example. Now I'll start adding elements to it. So for k in range this, now I know my range is varying from start point to end plus 1. Okay, so technically let's say this is 1 2 3 4 5. Okay, now when I have to print my first array, what will be the index of it? It will be the start point will be equal to 0 and end point will be equal to 0. So what will be it, the first value will be added, that is 1. So first array that will become is 1. Okay, in the second case, start value will be 0, end point will become 1. So so first of all it will add s equal to 0, and then it will add end equal to, so for second point it will be s equal to 0 to end equal to 0 and 1. So first it will add for 0, then it will add for 1, that is 2. Similarly it will add for 1, 2 and 3, and similarly it will add for 1 2 3 4, right? This way this sub array that I'm creating here is created. Okay, and once each sub array is created, I am basically I'm just copying it from here to here, then I'm copying it from here to here, then I'm copying this from here to here, I'm copying it from here to here. Okay, so that is the concept of how I have created individual. First I have created individual subarray, and then I started appending it in the main subarrays file. So this is the first concept that we did. Now comes, so we have completed our first part where we had to generate all the subarrays. So that we have done. Okay, the generating subarray part is done. Now the second part comes, I have to so second part now comes, I have to do a filter basically based on condition. Okay, that sum is equal to 12, that sum is equal to 12, and then out of those I have to find the maximum length, the one with the maximum length. Okay, so how I'm going to going to do this? Let's try to understand the architecture of this. Okay, so first of all, what I will do, I'll do a max subarray with the maximum length. Let's say by default I assume it to be a blank subarray. Okay, I don't know which one it is going to be. I assumed it to be blank. And so what is the max length of this? Max length is equal to 0. Okay, this much I know from initially. Now first of all, to get sum equal to 12, what I need to do, the first step is calculate the sum of all. Calculate the sum of all the subarrays. Okay, and once you have calculated the sum, put an if condition. If your sum is equal to target, okay, then you basically you choose them, you select those particular subarrays. You have selected those subarrays where sum is equal to target, and after this, what you're doing, you are getting the length for this. So you will go iterate from first sub array. Okay, if that satisfies the condition, you will store its length as maximum length. Okay, then you'll move to other sub array. If it satisfies the condition, you will check its length. If its length is more than current max, that is current max, okay, then you will update the current max to be equal to length of this, and that's how you will iterate through all. So you'll understand once I code a little bit more here. So let's go from here. So first of all, we have to generate, let's say we do a longest subarray, which we right now we don't have. We need to pick that. Okay, and let's say initially the maximum length of the longest subarray is 12. So remember, when we do sum as well, we initially declare that, okay, let's assume the sum is 0, and then we'll gradually build on that particular length. Okay, so for what I have to do now, first of all, I have to get those particular subarrays where sum is equal to target. Okay, so what I'll do, I'll loop in this subarrays, through this all subarrays, I'll do a for loop. So like this is the first subarray, this is the second subarray, this is the third subarray, and so on. So I will do for subarray in subarrays. Okay, what I'm doing, let's say, so now what I'm doing, I'm looping through. First I'm going through this, second I'm going through this, third I'm going through this, and so on. So initially, let's assume that before that the current sum is equal to 0 of this particular subarray. Okay, now what I have to do, that I have to iterate inside the subarray as well. So for example, I went through each subarray, and now what I will do, I'll create a loop that every time I check an element, I just add it to current sum. So what I'm doing for I'll do further for num in subarray. Okay, what I will be doing, I'll update the current sum. I'll update the current sum, that is current underscore sum is equal to current sum plus num. Okay, that's how you will update. Okay, now that's how you are going to update this. So for every sub array, I will have a sum stored now. 1, 3, 6, then 6 plus 7, 13, and so on. Okay, now I have that sum stored. So for each sub array, this current sum shows me the sum of the elements inside that sub array. And now what I need to do, I need to put an if condition, that if, now because I am inside this subarray, so I cannot start my loop from here. I have to start it from here only. So for the indentation, so I'll do an if current underscore sum, okay, is equal to target. So what I'm doing, if this sum is equal to target, so I'll filter out those subarrays where sum is equal to target. And what I will do, that if length of this particular subarray, okay, subarray is greater than what we defined here, the max length, because initially it was 0. So whatever, so let's say I encounter this one, any one with sum, this sum is 12, right? So when I encounter this one, it will check its length, it is greater than 0. So what it will do, if length of subarray is greater than and max underscore length, what it will do, so it will do that max underscore length, it will update the max length to be equal to length of subarray. Okay, it will be like this. And what we will do, and my longest subarray will become this particular one. My longest subarray will become it will become subarray. It will become this particular subarray. Okay, so now I have done, now I think I'm done with the question. So what we will do, print let's say if the longest subarray is let's name it longest subarray, okay, and subarray, and its length is max underscore length. Okay, and I close this and I close this. Okay, so this is the particular code. I know this is little bit lengthy, that's why I took time to explain you. I'll just run this code right now to check. So the longest subarray is 237 and its length is 3. That's what we have generated. Okay, so this is the code. I'll just give a summary of code. That first of all, let me give you a summary of here in the board. The summary says like that. Step 1 is you generate all the subarrays. Generate all the subarrays. Okay, so how do we generate the subarrays? What we do, we create a start point and we create an end point. After that, we iterate through start to end. Okay, and we slice inside each slide. So we create a subarray and we slice inside from this particular thing, and we constantly start storing in subarrays. This is how we generate all the possible subarrays. After that, we have, so once we have generated all the subarrays, what I need to do, I need to check the first I need to find the sum of all. So, and then if sum is equal to target, I select those particular subarray and find the length of it. So that is the objective, that is the architecture of this question. So what I do, first of all, I define a longest subarray and this. So now after I have selected all, for example, let's say out of 23, I selected 10 subarrays which satisfy this condition. Okay, let's say there are 10 subarrays which satisfy this condition, that their sum is equal to 12. Okay, now what I need to do, I have a max length equal to 0, and I have a longest subarray equal to blank. So what I will do, I'll go to the first array. I will check if is its length greater than this. If yes, so I will update this length. So let's say my max length is presently equal to 0. Okay, and this is my lengthiest subarray equal to blank. Now when I come to this, let's say this is subarray 1. So what will be my longest, the length of this? The ml will, instead of 0, it will become the length of this. For example, let's say length is 2, and the longest subarray ls will become equal to s1. Okay, now I will go to this, I will check its length. If its length is greater than this, then I will update this maximum length. Otherwise I will move forward. Otherwise, if I find anything whose length is greater than this, then I will update the maximum length to that particular length, and I will update the longest subarray to that particular subarray. And that's how I will print the result. So this was a very beautiful question, to be honest, right? It will clear a lot of your concepts, that how to generate things, how to take the maximum. You'll find a lot of sub questions of this particular question in future assignments that I give. So please walk through this whole question. There are three concepts ingrained in this, and you need to master them. Okay, so that's all about the question number 9. So welcome everyone to the question number 10th now. This is the last question of this assignment, and it's a very interesting question. Fairly easy, I will say. It's not a complicated question. Before this, I'll just like to mention one more thing, that as I have already told, that in real world, when you start working, right, the real only 20 to 30% of the data is present in tabular format. All other data is actually present in a JSON format, and this is that dictionary or JSON format. So you need to get familiar with this type. What happens that whenever I give such type of question, right, this is a very easy question when I tell you, but what happens that because you are not used to seeing the data like this, you always get confused. Oh, what is it talking about? How will I get access to this? Right? So that is the thing. You have to tune your eyes, tune your knowledge about the JSON data. So read about JSON format data, because it is more important than tabular format data. That's I personally will recommend. But so yeah, no, when you start working towards generative AI or machine learning models, the lot of the data that you are going to receive, it is in this format, and that you have to basically you flatten the JSON data to convert it into a tabular format. So this is actually the raw format of any data. For example, even in the website, when you click somewhere, right, all that information is stored in like this format only. So you need to get familiar with this particular type of data, especially if you are planning towards data engineering, or let's say you're planning towards data scientist, right? There you need to have a understanding of this particular type. So now let's move forward to the question that you are given a list of dictionaries where each dictionary prints a sales data for different regions. So what we have a list of dictionaries: dictionary 1, dictionary 2, dictionary 3, dictionary 4, 5, 6. Each dictionary has key, a region, sales, and quarter. So it has three variables or three keys, you can say. And region value is north, sales is 100. Similarly, there are quarters. Write a Python function to calculate the total sales for each region for the entire year. So what do you need to do for the entire year? Now we know that. So because we are not mentioned any particular year, so we are assuming all these quarters are from the same year, Q1, Q2, Q3, right? So what do we need to do actually? So we are given a dictionary. We are given basically you are given a list of dictionaries. Okay, so we are given a dictionary D1, we are given a dictionary D2, and total there are 6 dictionaries. Okay, and we need to convert. What will be my final format? It will also be a list of dictionaries, but with some changed value of key and value, right? It will also, so we are just to basically transform each of the dictionaries. That is my whole process. That I need to transform. Let's see what transformation they are talking about. The transformation they are talking about is we need to have north, so we need to have the region, and then the total sales. Okay, so we have to get rid of the quarter. We just need region and we need sales. And how do we need sales? For each region we want the sum of all the sales. Okay, so what we will do, we have a key value pair here, we multiple here. We want to get that key, and for value I want sum of v. This is what the question technically is, and we have done this type of question earlier as well in previous assignment. So I will directly go towards the coding part. So let me just take a new notebook. Okay, so what is going to be there? First of all, we create, let's say, function def total sales. Okay, let's total sales I am creating. And what is the input value in this? I am putting the input value will be my this sales data. So let me have it sales data. Okay, so I have now what I need to do, remember I need to create a new dictionaries. Okay, so I need to create a new dictionary here, new dictionary, something like this I have to create, and finally I have to technically append them in a list, or maybe so what I'm doing here, I am creating a new dictionary which is blank. Okay, let's say this is d new, this is a blank dictionary. I will transform each of the dictionary, and I will basically append here, something like that I'll be doing. What do we need to do here? First of all, I define a blank dictionary, that is, let's say total, because it is a total. So I am doing total is equal to this. Okay. Now I have to iterate through each of the dictionary D1, D2, D3, D4. So what I'll be using, I'll use for loop. So I'll do for dict1 in sales underscore data. Okay, now I'm accessing each of the dictionary inside it. Now for each of the dictionary which is present in, for this dictionary, what I need, remember, we need region and we need the sales, we don't need quarter. So what we will do, we will define for each dictionary, we will define a new variable, that is, we want to have the access to region. So what is my region for this? Region will be equal to dict1, and I need to have the access to what is the key here? Region. So region is the key there. Okay, so I need to have the value of region, that should be my key. So this becomes my region for this. And what is my second thing? Second is my sales. Sales will be equal to dict1, and I have to get the value of sales. Okay, so far I have done this. Now what I need to do, I need to cumulate for each region, I need to sum all the occurrence of sales. Okay, so what will happening, that I will start moving. For example, for north, I will come here. I will, when I encounter first value of north and sales, I will store it in my dictionary. Okay, now when I encounter next, what I will do, I will append it 200, I will add this. And when I encounter another north, I will again add it. So what I'm doing, whenever I'm encountering first value, I'm putting the value as sales, and for next value I'm just adding it, sales plus previous current sale, sales plus current sale, just like we do in cumulative, 100 plus 200 plus 300. So that's what I will be doing. So the question says that if my, so it will depend on two cases. If my region, right, if my region is present in total, if this is in present in total, what I will be doing is that total of region is equal, it will become, sorry, I will increment it to, if it is already present. If it is not present, what I'll be doing, else total of region will be equal to sales. That's what I will do. And in the end, I think I'll just have to return total. Okay, and now if I run the function, let me check this particular out. So let's say this is the sales data. Okay, I run this, then what is the function in total sales? Total underscore sales and sales underscore data. Okay, now when I do this, I get north 600, south 750. That's what I have got it. So what is my first step? My first step was to get to know what all keys I want. I want north as my key, right, and south as my key. So this has to be my key. So what I created a new key for each of the dictionary. I have created a new key, region and sales. Okay, and what I have done, for we need region as one of the key, and second key, the value should be the sum of sales. So what I have done, that I have iterated through it, and I have kept on adding the value of sales till I am seeing north everywhere. And that's how what I've done, and then you just return the function. So this was the question number 10th explanation. It is a fairly easy concept, but you should know how to add dictionary, how to manipulate dictionary, how to create a new version of dictionary from the previous one, what all this process is about. This is very important, because you first of all, you created new dictionary, then you check, is my particular thing is in that dictionary. If it is not present, I will add the first instance. If it is present, I will increment the instance, right? So that is something you need to remember. So that's about the question number 10th. I hope you got the explanation of all the 10 questions. I know it can be a little daunting initially because you haven't practiced these questions, but trust me, I really don't want to spoon feed you by giving very easy questions, right? Like if I would have given very easy questions, you would have solved once a concept that I've taught in class, and if I'm giving the same question, you will be able to solve it, right? So you need to expose yourself to difficult questions. So even if you're not understanding things, it's fine. Start building. I mean, this is your first exposure. This is your first set. We have to do 200 questions, right? So just see, by the time you complete 200 questions, you will have a fair enough exposure. but just make sure you understand the concept how I have done, because we'll be using this particular concept again and again till you actually master them. Okay, so these are some of the approaches that you basically use. So thanks for watching this video, and I'll come up with the solution to set 2 as well, and keep practicing. Our target is to complete 200 questions in this particular video series. I'll try to provide video solutions to as much as possible, but again, as I'm saying, no teacher is perfect. No teacher can make you perfect in Python. It's only you, so you have to practice this on your own. So watch these videos only till you have tried something. You might come up with some other approach to solve a question. My thinking is something different, right? So don't just start watching the videos like a movie. So first solve on your own, then only come to these questions. So that's what my recommendation will be. So thanks again for watching the video. We'll come out with the next video very soon, and please subscribe to our channel if you really like, if you enjoy our courses, if you enjoy these practice problems. Please share, subscribe our channel, tell to your friends about this, and thanks again.